start it. All right. Here we go.
This call is now being
Olivia,
recorded.
how's it going?
Una llamada prepagada de
David
Yeah.
Lopez.
un
Ay,
individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el... Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello.
James.
David.
James, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Just want to give you the heads
what's going
up.
on?
We're currently on the World Wide Web. We're currently on TikTok and on YouTube. How are you doing today, David?
Oh, hey, I'm doing all right, man. I'm a little intimidated. The World Wide Web. I don't know how you feel about that, Jess.
World Wide Web sounds so 1990.
Hey, Jesse's shell-shocked. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear him or not, but we're both shell-shocked right now. We're dealing with a power, Jesse, that's greater than ourselves.
Absolutely.
And it's not our higher power. It could be. Are you in?
I'm in. Let's go. I'm ready to move into the future.
Yeah. He said, Yahoo!
That's right. Hey, AOL, that's right. You got mail.
Yep, you got mail, Jesse. Yeah, don't read all that. Don't read all that mail. Though. Whatever you do, don't read it all. There's some ugly stuff out there. You know, you got to remember, man. We're hella scary. We locked it up over drug debts, apparently. So, you know,
That's all
we're
bad.
super scary.
That's all bad.
Yeah, that's all bad. This is not true for those of you that don't know us. That's not true at all. We went down gloriously.
Hey, you're about to romanticize. You guys are about to romanticize when Santana got thrown off the tira.
Hey, I've talked about this before. When Santana got thrown off the tira, he narrated his own death. Like, he was still, like, you know when a movie's on there and you're like, he's still talking, and he's like, you know what, homito, back then, things were a lot different, eh? You know, and there'll be like a little story, but he's telling the story, you know, as the movie progresses. But when he's like, he just got shivved. He got shivved and thrown off a tier, right? And he's like, I never thought things would end this way. It's like, wait a minute here. How are you still talking?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah, how are you still talking? You're in the process of falling off a tier. Yeah, so anyway. That's what's always confused me about that. I'm being tech support right now, you know. All right, so I got to see what Jesse wrote right here. We had an issue with Canvas, so it's going to say Mr. B. I'm not sure what is going on with our canvas, but several of us are having trouble with it uploading our assignments incomplete. I have just resubmitted the outline in hopes of receiving my complete points. Thanks. Hit save, Jess, and we're good to go. Yeah, so I noticed today when I checked for my grade, because we're both in college and we use Canvas, so it's an online platform. I'm you know what Canvas is, James?
No, I don't. But I've heard you and Silas you bring it up before.
Yeah, it's an online platform that allows us to connect with our professors, and they show our grades on there, and we're in person. Like, we have a professor, several professors that come in here for the courses, but we submit our work. We do it on Word, and then we submit it through our laptops to Canvas. And I noticed today that I got dinged for 5 points on one of my grades, you know. And I'm going to tell you right now, James, that my paper, my outline was immaculate. Like, honestly, it was immaculate. I just cannot think of anything that would have got me dinged for 5 points. So what I noticed is that when I uploaded my paper to Canvas, half of it was missing. So I don't understand that. So I resubmitted it, and Jesse noticed that he got dinged, and so did a bunch of our other classmates. So that's something going on with their system.
We got one of our viewers right here that goes by Vish. They write, I use Canvas too. So, and then we got I think it's a Trap Train.
That's cool.
I used it too.
Trap train? I don't think you want to get trapped in a train, James. I need you to. I need you to watch out for that. I don't know if that's what what's implied or not, but all right, go ahead. What's the comment?
Hello. I
Yeah.
had my daughter just stepped
All
there,
right.
and she was asking me a question about a happy borrow, which is, I guess, like a pig. She drew a picture for me because I had no idea what she was talking about. We have. Let me read out some of the.
Adorable. All right.
We
Just
got.
adorable. That's all I got to say.
That's right. We got some
Go
comments
ahead.
right here. We got Juan, and he writes, "Yo, James, what up?" Juan and David, Jesse and David, and then also we got KC underscore.
What's up, Juan?
She writes, "Hi guys." We got Olivia Vargas. She writes, "Much love and respect to the." She wrote inmates, but let me go ahead and correct it. Incarcerated individuals.
I'm deeply offended by being called an inmate. Deeply. She cut me to she cut me to the core right now. She cut me deep. She cut me deep. Nah, that's cool. We send ours to everybody. To Juan, Olivia, Casey underscore. No, she said what's up to the inmates. You know
To the inmates.
yeah. Oh
You know
man.
that's politically incorrect these days. Can't they get banned on TikTok for calling us inmates?
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly. I wouldn't doubt it. No, so they made changes to the system because of certain language, and just in case you weren't aware, now we go by residents.
Oh,
We go
residents.
by incarcerated individual. Yeah, they call us residents also now. But incarcerated person, incarcerated individual, that's proper. Inmates, I don't even know what that means.
Me neither.
That term, they've called us that for so many years, and I don't know what it means, honestly. What is it? What's that? An inmate?
That means I'm in and I'm mating.
Hey. Horrible image just went through my mind right now. Horrible.
Hey, they're the one that created the context, and not me.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that term, it ties you to people. It does. It's a term that links you with other people that are here. Like it's one giant classification, so I can see that as a problem. They're not my mates, and I mean this not in a a derogatory way or anything like that. But like most of these guys here, a large percentage of the population here, even on my yard, I don't know them. I see new faces all the time when I go out there. These are guys that have been here probably the whole time I've been here, and they are not my mates. They are not my homies. They are not my friends. They are other people that I just see on the track here and there, and
They're other residents.
they're other residents. Yeah, I give them their respect. I give them their space, but I don't really interact with a good majority of my yard at all. Jesse, he's. I mean, we talk to a lot of people, but think that there's hundreds of people here.
I'm the mayor around here, so I have to talk to them.
He does. He shakes hands. He smiles. He's got a little bit of Botox up in his eyes, on his crow's feet. He's got that. What's that shit? Plexiderm. He uses Plexiderm for the bags.
Well,
But
no.
me, I'm more basic in my cosmetics. I comb my hair and I use a paño to wipe the sweat on my forehead from the yard, and that's really it, man.
I got a makeup person that follows me around.
Yep, he does. Camera, lighting,
The whole bit.
but so I could see that being the issue. Like one time there was a lieutenant and in the past, and we were coming out of school and we had to eat in the chow hall. So I had a cup that was you buy it from canteen, but it's not a technical steak cup that they hand you. So we're not supposed to have it in the chow hall. So I go in there, and this was a dude, he was just looking for anything that day. So he tells me, hey, your cup, you got to leave it outside. You can't bring it in. And he had already told it to somebody else, that had went in. And he says, hey, go ahead and pick up his cup also and go put it over there by the curb. And he said, do it for your, what do you say, Jess? He said, do it for your,
Partner,
do it for your, get your homie's cup or something like that. And I was like, that ain't my homie.
No.
And she's like, oh, well, you guys are all in blue. I said, what's that, like, my mentality towards that is like, well, what's that got to do with me? What's that man and that man's cup got to do with me? Just because I'm in blue, I don't know. I don't even know who that is. I don't touch people's shit in prison that I don't know. It's just what it is. Not me being a dick or nothing like that, but that's just the reality in this place.
You were like, until you pointed me out to him, I had never seen him before in my life.
Yeah, and honestly, to this day, I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that dude is. A lot of people, there's some people that are strange in here, so you can't make no assumptions. You go over there, it's everything straightforward. That's your stuff. This is our stuff. You don't want me touching your stuff. I don't want you touching my stuff. If you know me, that's not an issue. If you don't, then it probably is.
Just assume what it is.
Yep, that's just what it is. So there's people that I could have got his cup and he'd be like, oh, well, I don't like people touching my cup. Or he comes and just does some weird shit, Or he'll like, I don't know. There's just people are strange in prison. That's what I noticed. So they are not my mates. I'm just in with them. Yeah, that sent me on a rant right there.
Hey,
very outspoken on that.
So I want to go ahead and because we haven't talked since man, it's been a minute since we talked. But so a little bit of what I've been doing on some of my free time, I've been virtually attending board of parole hearings to get a little bit of a better understanding of what kind of questions and what kind of responses are given when individuals are going in front of the board. So there's I think like 4 or 5 different states that I've been able to sit in, and I've been streaming them on YouTube and on TikTok, and man, it's a trip. The responses that people give. When they ask them questions about what the offenses they committed, and if they see the errors in their ways.
Yeah.
And I recently, well, not recently, but in the past, I had requested, to attend Ricky's parole board hearing. I reached out to them again last week, and they said that they were still working on it. There's no word yet, so I'm hoping they give me the A-OK, so like that I'm able to see exactly how the California one differs from other states.
That's going to be crazy if you get to hear Ricky's board hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like when Jesse goes or anything like that, and I think I don't know what the board hearings are like in other states.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. What do you think, Jess? Do you think they're like in comparison?
I mean, I'm sure there's some similarities, but also it's different cultures, different dynamics in the systems over there. So I'm sure that the process of getting out or the process of presentation is different, just based on, not all criminals are painted with the same brush, even though, it may seem that way because there's different subcultures, you know what I mean? There's different subcultures in different institutions.
I'm laughing because I was pictured like the guy that he's like, are you remorseful for what you did? He's like, sir, yes, I am, as I am. What you think? Yes, I am. Very sorry, sir. Yes, I am.
Hey, so that was, that's what I was going to ask you, James. You said right now about this is Jesse. You said that you had, you were tripping out on some of the answers and the responses that they were giving. Can you elaborate on that a little bit with, as far as, what kind of answers? And then I want you to articulate a little bit in contrast to maybe some of the stuff you've heard from some of the participants in our channel.
A very mature question.
How do we relate to the individuals that you've heard in the parole process in other states? So go ahead.
So like we're watching one yesterday from what state was it? From Connecticut, and I had this dude. He came in. He looked like a straggler. He walks in. He had like the Uncle Fester eyes. And so I'm trying to paint the picture. He comes.
I know it's exactly. I have the picture. Go ahead.
So they got a chair. They got like a cream colored chair in this room. They got a camera pointed to the chair. He comes in. He sits down. He's slouching. He's not even his posture is definitely off. His arms are crossed. And they let him know that they're gonna be not from. So some other people. So we got Starlight in here.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Starlight was in here yesterday, and you know what? I'm gonna switch it up because she brought this one up. This guy walks in. Well, not sorry. He doesn't walk in. He walks in with a walker. He's like 70 years old.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You a guy,
Hey, we're gonna have to call back.
yeah, definitely.
We're gonna call back. I
Okay.
think it's fresh. I'll call you right back.
All right. Hey, that was a trip. That dude with that older that older gentleman with the walker. Hey, do you remember what he was? What was he there for? I don't recall what he. Oh no, he was there for something bad, right? Did he have a SA charge? It was a SA charge, right? I think if I'm not mistaken. Yes, his big eyes. All right, there it is. The prison phone's ringing.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
My friend is
un
for
individuo
board on the 20th,
encarcelado
been there
en
since
de la prisión
2002. Any
estatal de
advice?
Centinela,
I'll
Centinela,
ask them right now.
California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I feel,
You have
yeah,
a prepaid
he was,
call.
okay.
You will not be charged
Thank
for this
Marshawn.
call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Go on.
Okay,
The lowly drifter from
So-
Connecticut, who looks like Uncle Fester.
Uncle Fester.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so he walks in. He sits down. He's just slouched back without a care in the world. And
Yeah.
This is not the guy with the walker, right?
no, this isn't the walker. The walker was, man. That, you know what? Look, and I want to say this because I was surprised with a lot of the charges that these dudes got in other states. I don't know if it's California's like this, because obviously I've never sat on a board hearing before. But a lot of these gentlemen, I can't even say that. But these individuals, they have messed up charges. They're a lot of them are
Okay.
SA charges. So I'm like, man, like what? Like people are just walking in, everybody just seems like first they sell like they'll have like some like their violation or whatever, and then they get into like their what they originally went to prison for, and then it always happens to be, or most of the time, it's SA charges. So that one's definitely thrown me in for a loop. But some people, you look at them and
I
you're
was
like,
thinking more like horse thievery, vagrancy.
Yeah, that was
no.
that was all in Connecticut.
So we've been doing Connecticut, Utah, and today we're doing Louisiana. Louisiana, from all the videos we saw today, we only saw one person get found suitable, in which it was right before you guys called. We had, I think, about like 6 or 7 people come on before that, and everybody all got denied. Louisiana is definitely tough. But so back to the Uncle Fester. So he's slouching, he's sitting down, and they make him wait for like a moment or two before they get around to greeting him and whatnot. And normally in Connecticut, they'll ask the offender, like they'll ask him like if they have any statements. So everybody that came in before him, everybody had like 2-3 pages. They had some statements written down to talk about like whatever activities they're doing, whether they were going to school, whether they got their GED, or whatever they were participating in prison. And Uncle Fester, he walks in, he doesn't have anything in his hands. So they ask him for his statement, and then he reaches into his pocket. And I was wrong, because before he started speaking, I was like, man, this dude didn't even walk in with a statement. I was like, he's definitely he don't care. So then he pops up the paper. I was like, oh shit, I was wrong about that. He got something. He wrote something, and he pops out the paper, and it's like maybe like the paper is maybe like a 2x2 paper. And I was like, man, how much stuff can you write on that paper? I don't remember what he had written on that paper, but people were clowning him on the chat.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
His whole
That's
attitude.
messed up, people on the chat. Unless he's here for some weird stuff, then hey, justified.
Oh,
He's there for some weird stuff.
oh man,
That's the same guy? Well, he said all of them are there pretty much for some weird stuff, so just assume
the
that.
majority of them.
Quick question. So You were streaming that guy's hearing live?
So that one was not live. So what happened was that so by the time I got into the, there's a 3 hour time difference between the West Coast and Connecticut. So by the time I jumped on, we did catch it live for about 30 minutes, and there was a bunch of people watching. So what I ended up doing was those videos stay on their website, for the Board of Parole's website. So I just started it from the beginning, and that's how we were able to see the guy with the walker, Uncle Fester, and everybody else. We didn't catch that part of it live because we had already missed it while it was happening. But yeah.
Hey, do you hear the alarm right now? Could you hear that alarm?
Yeah, I could kind of hear a little beeping sound. What does that mean?
Well, that means it's all bad normally. Like that's for the listeners that don't know, when you hear that sound, that's when that's our emergency alarm. So right now it's alarm testing, which is normal for this time. But any other time of the day other than right now, if that alarm goes off, somebody's probably getting got, somebody's fell out somewhere. Yeah, it's never good to hear that alarm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you hear that when we're on right now, and it's not 4:30. It's all bad.
I'll keep that mental note on that one. But so pretty much with Uncle Fester, they pretty much told him that he wasn't gonna get paroled, and he was just kind of like he had his arms crossed, like his whole like body language was off, like he just didn't care, like whether they let him go home or not. It didn't matter to him. I don't remember exactly what kind of responses he was giving when he was talking, but they were short, and it didn't seem like he put any effort into it. The night before, whatever was gonna happen was gonna happen.
How long was he in? Did he say?
I don't recall how much time he was in, but what we can do. We could even play it, and you guys could hear it.
Is this a lifer parole hearing, or is this a violator's parole hearing?
Oh no! It's no. There was no lifers that I saw on there. No, so these are guys are doing life. They're doing life on the installment plan.
That's probably why he don't care, because a lot of them dudes are gonna get out anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like, it is what it is. Come back and see me tomorrow. You guys are interrupting my nap.
Yep, pretty much. Because I know guys here that go under the youth offender parole and they don't do too well, but they're not lifers. A lot of the youth offenders that go are lifers, but some of the guys that I've talked to, they're just like, it don't matter. I'm getting out in a couple years anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just, we ain't got no time for that, Jesse and I.
Which is weird, though. Like, now I can actually see that, and it's like, damn, to think that you could actually be sitting in here, like, why would you want to do even one day in prison that you don't have to do, right? But people are so lost in the sauce the same way we were for so long that you would actually say something like that. Like, instead of taking 10 minutes to write a relapse, or an hour to write a relapse plan, an hour to write some remorse letters, an hour to prepare yourself writing to some transitional housing, an hour to do a little bit of constructive insight to prepare yourself for these hearings. Let's just say, and this is being graceful. Like, let's just say you even, donate a week to this, and it can take off years of your sentence.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, I see it in here all the time. You know what I mean? And like I said, I was one of those guys before. We were both one of those guys before, where it's like, I'm not trying to get out of prison. I'm trying to do anything I can that's going to keep me here.
I passed up release dates a lot when I was still doing like my buzzard time.
Yeah.
Before I got life, I was doing a lot of violations and all that. But anytime something came up, I was putting in work. I would go back to the hole. My date would come. My date would go, and I'd be like, well, at least I'm out here with the homies.
Yeah. You're the illusion you're living, and your identity, your presence on the yard, is how other people perceive you is way more important than getting out of prison. And I look at it now, and it's just like damn, like, to think that anybody, if I could commit, a couple hours to get even a week knocked off of my sentence, I'm getting a week knocked off. I don't get those same liberties because I'm not. We're long-term offenders, but the reality is, like, it just makes no sense to me now that I understand it and can see things through those eyes, through those lenses. So why would anybody want to spend? Oh, well, I'm only doing a few. They got to let me out in 3 years anyways. Well, if you could have got out today, And what's the problem?
Yeah, why you want to sit in jail for 3 more years?
Yeah, three. That, you know what I mean, like that, and that just goes to show the hopelessness or how little these guys have waiting for them out there. Where where this is a better choice. And again, I understand it because I was there, but it's just it's mind blowing to think that that's how, when you're lost in that misery, that how comfortable you are, And I suffer those consequences every day now when I think about family visits. Like to think that I actually sacrificed family visits to be in here selling drugs and getting high and acting like I'm the man and just having control over people through drug distribution or power, what I perceive as power. To me, and it never crossed my mind that losing my family visits would be a consequence of the choices I was making because I was living in the moment.
Yeah.
And let me ask you guys, because I got a few questions on here. So they're asking, are you lifers? And then I got this other question from Miss Dorado, and she's asking, my friend is up for board on the 20th. He's been there since 2002. And any advice?
Lots of advice.
Yeah.
For one, yeah. Okay, so for one, yeah, Jesse and I are both we're both lifers. So that term has changed a lot recently. I've been in for 14 years. Jesse's been in for 23 years. I've been in for 14 on this number. I reoffended and I got life. But my sentence, I got 15 to life for a second degree 187, and then they gave me a consecutive 25 to life for use of a firearm. Jesse got found, or he was originally LWOP, life without parole, and things changed in his case, and he ended up with 25 to life.
Yep.
Yeah, 25 to life total. So Jesse will go to board soon. So it's kind of hard to say, okay, yeah, we're lifers because we both got the L. I got 2 of them. Which is the life sentence attached to our term. We're indeterminate. We have an indeterminate sentence, which means that if things don't work out in board or, they don't feel like we're suitable for parole, we can spend the rest of our lives in here. We can die in here. And so that's a sobering reality. But we also have to remember, hey, both of us are here because somebody's not. I'm responsible for why I'm here. I took an individual's life, and I'm paying the price for that. I avoided responsibility. I evaded, responsibility for a long time. I was pointing the finger at everybody else. It's everybody else's fault. But at the end of the day, nobody else had that weapon in their hand. I had that weapon in my hand. I pulled the trigger, and that man's gone forever. So Jesse, he's got similar circumstances.
Yeah, it's the same thing, same situation.
Yeah.
I committed my crime when I was a juvenile. Doesn't make it. I mean, by law standard, it makes me a little less culpable. That because of my diminished culpability as a juvenile, as a teenager. But yeah, same situation, same thing. I've been to board already once. I went to board in February, actually on Valentine's Day of 2023, and I think I got love that day because I got a 3-year denial. So the question was, your friend's going to board.
2002 he came in. You came in 2001, so you guys have been in for around the same time.
Yep, we've been essentially been incarcerated for around the same time. I don't know what your friend's been doing with his time. I don't know where he's at. I don't know his situation. But as far as that, preparation is everything. Very few people can actually go into the board and bullshit their way out of prison. The reality of it is, if you haven't prepared yourself, you're not getting out of prison. These people, they specialize. They see people every day. And there's specific standards and specific criteria that need to be met, and rightfully so. Even me, who's sitting in here, and I have to go through this process. I welcome it because it's knowing that I have to do all that keeps me on a certain path. And so as far as what he has to do, he has to for sure make sure that he has solid parole plans. He has to for sure make sure he has solid relapse prevention plans. And when I say parole plans, he has to have a lot of support from people out there in the community. And if he has very little, there's a lot of organizations out there that actually, write support letters. And if he's, like I said, if he's living this life in recovery and he's ready to get out of prison, I'm sure he's built some pretty good network and some pretty good support.
Yeah, if he's in California, you have the anti-recidivism.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
No less. I wouldn't recommend him. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say go in there and postpone or anything, but they're looking for at least 5 years clean.
Yeah, if he's had a write-up any time in the last 5 years, I don't recommend anybody postpone anything.
Yeah, go in.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Despite what he's been doing with his time, the best thing he can do is go in there and start facing the music now, because even though they're not going to let him out of prison, they will give him a roadmap and they will tell him where he's at. And if he's still living the life of, if he's still hogging and dogging and he's thugging, the reality of it is he's not going to like anything they have to say, because it won't align with who he is.
Yeah.
But if he's sincere about, hey, you know what, I'm changing, or hey, I want to get out of prison, I want to hear what these people have to say, I'm willing to take some constructive criticism, he'll learn a lot by going into that hearing.
I'll give you a call back, Kane. It's going to cut off right now.
All right, for sure. All right. So this is David and Jesse. If you're interested in listening to their stories, if you go check out our YouTube channel, is at Collect Call From. Go to playlist, and you could find David and Jesse's journey under the playlist. Can you ask them that question? What question? Let me see. Are these guys doing life? Yeah, I did ask them if they were doing life. They got
Este
call is
es
now being
Global
recorded.
Talent. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Talent.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
In between the call, me and Jess were talking, right? And I think the advice that we can give, it would be more for her. I don't know if that's what she was asking, is what can she do to help the process? Because there's a lot that our loved ones can do. Well, there's not really a lot, but they can be involved in the process. For one, support letters. I don't know if she's written a support letter for him yet, but he's going to need them. The board wants to see that they have people on the outside that are willing to help them, that are willing to help in the transition. And that doesn't need to be financial support specifically. It doesn't even need to be a job. That would help. Hey, I run a company, and so-and-so is going to board on this date, and I just want you to know that I've known him for this amount of time, and this is the type of support that I can help him. I can give him advice. He can call me anytime. I can walk him through getting his driver's license. I can give him a ride. Yeah, stuff like that. And that helps right there. That's more realistic, unless you're a business owner or something, like, hey, I have a job for him waiting right now. That he can start working day one when he gets to transitional housing. He can start working. I'll bring him in, give him an orientation, start him off with this much money. So yeah, that's how outside people can help us and help your loved ones. Driver's license, a ride is important, because remember, they're getting out there and they're going to find other guys. If he goes to transitional housing, especially if he's been in that long, he's going to have to go to something like that. And but once you get there, yeah, they'll house you, but it's up to your loved one to figure out, okay, well, what are the resources available to me? How am I going to get there? How am I going to go to the DMV, Social Security office? Where's my birth certificate? Has anybody used fraud in my name? There's a lot of things that they're going to need assistance with. And realistically, like me, I was out there, but 14 years ago. I have an idea of where to go, but I'm going to need some help. I know to call the DMV, try to get an appointment, and stuff like that, but it's going to be the same for most of us that are lifers, that have an opportunity to go home. If he is going to board, and go ahead, Jay.
You know what? Right now that you mentioned identity, I recently spoke to a young lady that had previously gone to prison, and she was telling me that's something that people face, when coming home from prison. Sometimes people, steal their identity, and it definitely makes it harder for them to be able to get identification, whether it's a driver license or ID. Getting hold of their driver license, or getting a hold of their birth certificate, social security card, and those type of documents is definitely gonna make their transition a lot easier, opposed to not walking out that door without having any of those documents.
Yeah, and the board, they're going to want to see, when the loved one submits, or any of us, when we submit our board packet, a relapse prevention plan has got to be in there, and they want it pretty simple, straightforward. What are your triggers? And it has to be for anger, drugs, gang mentality, those types of things that might trigger somebody to go back and revert to who they were. So they want to see it mapped out, man. What are the triggers? What are the internal triggers? What are the external triggers?
Warning signs, coping tools.
Physical warning signs. Hey, I know I'm triggered because I saw this gang member walk across the street, and I know I'm triggered because maybe he had a symbol, that it triggered something negative in my mind. He was a past rival or whatnot, so I know that I'm triggered. Why? Because my hands are starting to sweat, my heartbeat's going a little bit quicker, and this is how I'm going to de-escalate myself during the situation. Instead of throwing my hands up, hey, homie, where you from? Like doing anything like that, or approaching them, hey, aren't you the homie that, aren't you the dude that, killed so-and-so, or you did this and that? Instead of doing all that, I know that I have a sponsor. I'm going to pick up, instead of going that route, like the negative route, I'm going to go to my relapse prevention plan. Hey, I'm going to call this number. Hey, Jess, I just saw so-and-so right now. This is what I'm going through. I just need you to talk to me for a few minutes, and let's go over my my plan of action, and being able to be willing to make that call. If you don't have access to your phone at that time or whatnot, you have to have things in your mind. Okay, positive coping tools. And he's going to have to explain those things to the board. I don't know what your loved one's in prison for, but I know for us, they're going to want to make sure that we don't get out there and we don't commit another 187, or we don't hurt anybody. We don't start selling drugs and just stuff like that. So it's a process. You start preparing for your board years before you go.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't go to board till 2031, and I already have a basic plan, written up.
So basically, the best thing she can do is be his arms and his legs out there to assist him in the process, because it does help to have somebody out there that you can count on to help touch base with some of these organizations for you, because even these organizations get very busy. They're more than willing to help you when you're out there, but they don't always have the time or the resources to reach back out to you. So if they have somebody that they can count on who's willing to make contact with these organizations or these resources, so that way they can get some sort of documentation to put in their parole plans, to put in their support letters, to put in their, they can submit that to the board, and it shows the board that they have options. And it's like, okay, this isn't the very same person who walked in the door who, if things
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
things got choppy, they're going to revert back to crime. They're going to revert back to what they knew, which was, a lot of us, dealing drugs, robbery, whatever it was that people tended to do to generate income, or if nothing else, just a pastime.
Yeah, you could be his Google. Something as small as that, you'd be surprised. We do not have internet access. A lot of the questions that we have, that we get answers, we ask our loved ones. I'll call my mom and be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you Google this? Google this name, or Google this organization, and can you get me this address, or can you get me a phone number? And that's something that you can help with. It's pretty easy to do. A lot of people don't understand that. We can't just pull up a search engine and type, hey, transitional housings in this area. We have the basic ones that everybody passes around here, and you see some stuff in the library, but most of it's outdated. A lot of those a lot of those places don't write you back, or they won't even answer the phone. We don't even know if their number's good.
During COVID.
Yeah, you never know. So you have the world at your fingertips, the World Wide Web.
Yeah. But like I said, one of the biggest things is doing that support letter.
Yeah, the support letter is
life
huge.
is moving fast for you guys out there, and when they're stressing like, hey, I need a support letter. Oh yeah, I got it. You know, I've seen that time and time again, and it's not. These are people who come visit, send their loved ones money and stuff like that. But for some reason, when it comes time, because everybody out in society is so used to texting and minimal communication other than what's on the phone. You know, like texting. Really, that's how everybody communicates now. Nobody even has conversations anymore.
Yeah.
So actually sitting down and writing or typing a letter is a whole other game. And so a lot of guys up to the very last minute, they're stressing their family for a letter. It's like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that. You know, I needed to get it to you that soon. And it's like, no, it was. You know, I needed it yesterday. You know.
What's up, James? I heard the breath.
Okay, so I got one comment and I got two questions for you. I'll go ahead and read off the comment first. We have Desert Queen, and she writes, "Hi Jesse and David. Hope you are both having Desert Queen. Both you hope you're both having a blessed day Saturday."
We are. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. Yep, definitely.
That's right. And then she also writes, "Sending you nothing but love and respect from the Desert Empire." Laughing out loud.
Oh, okay. So she's the homegirl.
Yeah,
One of our homegirls.
there's our home team.
Yep, home team. Thank you. Finally, it's been rough. It's been rough in the World Wide Web. People from Connecticut, you don't know what they're trying to do, Jesse.
All right.
Festers.
Yeah, the festers of the world.
So I got two questions for you. The first question I got is from Ja, and they ask, can you ask them why women are not enough to keep you from offending inside? And then let me ask you the second one, so like that you guys could go, answer them as your thought process goes. We got a question from Zach, and Zach writes, if they could have done their past differently, would they have? Would they have?
Absolutely. On the second one.
100%. I could go back and do everything all over again. I would 100% do just about everything in my life different.
Yeah, I wasted my life. You know, chasing a pipe dream. I chose to become a gang member at 13 years old. You know, this is David. You know, Jesse's no better. I think he was 10. Yeah, and so yeah, I chose to become a gang member at 13 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I was enthralled with the lifestyle. I liked it. I like lowriders. I like big clothes. I like that Raza music. I like that. I like that gangster rap. I liked it. And that I didn't understand. I didn't understand what type of ideology that I was tapping into. It's different. It's not there's two different things. There's Raza culture, and then there's Raza gang culture. It's different. They're not the same. We messed all that up as gang members, So I wanted to cruise around and with the homies, but the homies were on, they were already on some other shit right there. And I think about it, I made that decision to become a gang member at 13 years old, and I stuck to that. A 13-year-old thought process. I stuck to it throughout my adult life. And I'm smart. I thought that I was smarter than everybody else, and I was street smart, but I didn't realize it until recently. I'm very book smart. I'm extremely book smart, and I did not know that. I had no idea that I could achieve the things that I'm achieving now in college. Jesse and I, we're lined up for the bachelor's program here, San Diego State University, and our GPA is pretty good. We have what do we have, Jess? Like a 3.6?
3.68.
3.68. Both Jesse and I have the same GPA. And I was actually upset because I was at a 4.0 for like 2 years. And I kept on and like, damn, I'm freaking book smart. And how could I be so stupid? So absolutely, I wish I could undo all that. And there was an interesting question. The first one, why weren't women enough to keep us out of trouble in here? And that's a crazy question, because we get so we get so focused and so tunnel vision on the things we were doing in here. For instance, me, right? I had aspirations to be a gang leader. I was in leadership roles in here. I was obsessed with power and control. Nothing else mattered but that power and control. I was willing to take a life for it. You know, I was putting myself in situations where I could have lost my life. That was the direction that I was going. Family, women, even my own freedom came secondary to that thought process. But interestingly enough, it was a very strong woman that I did change for. I did change for her. And it's crazy that my recovery is not based solely on this woman anymore. I do it for myself now. But love does actually conquer. Love got me off of a drug that I was on since I was a kid. Love got me wanting to not be in a gang no more. I don't commit violence anymore. All those things did happen because of my commitment and the commitment of this one woman. So it does happen. And I know it, and I'm not the only one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jesse's another one.
Yeah, another example, and that's, I mean, for a long time, when you're lost and you're hopeless, and like Dave said, when you're just completely, you know.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
That came fast, man. How long was I talking? Shit.
Look pretty quick.
Yeah, you start answering the questions, Jess. All right.
You want to call back?
Yeah, we're gonna call back because Jesse. Yeah, stay tuned for Jesse's thought because it's great. No 15-minute thought, but it's definitely a thought. You know?
Hey,
back
before you call back, Ms. Dorado says, please thank them for their advice. Super helpful.
Okay, we appreciate that. Thank you. No problem. You're welcome.
All right, cool. We'll be waiting. All right. So if you're listening over here in the TikTok side, you definitely want to check out our YouTube side of things. Just look us up by hitting @CollectCallFrom. And if you want to get into Jesse and David's journey, you know, from childhood all the way to where they're at now, check out their playlist. Adios, mama. I love you. All right, my daughter and my wife just stopped in. They're heading out right now. So, but yeah, like I was saying, yeah, if you want to check out their journeys, you know, jump onto the YouTube site and we have all different kinds of you know, interviews, videos. All right, and here it goes.
This
call is now being
Global
recorded.
Talent. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello.
Right, James?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, Jess.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is there's a lot of us that are in here living this life. We come from such dysfunction. We got such a distorted perspective of the world that we don't necessarily believe that at that point in our lives that we were worthy of something genuine, something pure, something good. So love was just a concept. It wasn't something that we could truly wrap our head around because, you know, from early on, you know, we didn't receive the necessary, the normal love that would have taught us how to appreciate it and understand love for what it is. So when you get women in your life, yeah, it's like, okay, they're cool, you know, this is that, but you're always expecting the other foot to drop. You're always looking for something bad, you know. It's just the way you get conditioned, and I know now, I see it now for what it is. It's insecurities. It's not necessarily connected to the woman themselves, but it's more about connected to your subconscious and things from the past. So a lot of guys get women in here, you know, that women could never truly be a priority to them because they've already pledged their life to this lifestyle. You know, when you've already committed your whole life, a woman was something that should be in passing. You know, like, okay, she's a part of my life, but she's not my life. My life is this gang. My life is this lifestyle, and I will not compromise it for no woman. If we're not compromising it for our own children, we for sure we're not going to compromise it for a woman. And I only understand this today. I never understood that before. As far as I was concerned, I was a great husband. I was a great boyfriend. I was a great love. You know, like great father. I was, you know, like in my warped perspective of things, I was doing what I was supposed to do. Like, hey, you know, I'm in prison. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in prison, and when I'm with you, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do with you. You know, but I'm in prison more than I am with you, so expect me to be committed to what I'm doing in here. You know, and so but after many years of like David said, you know, you get that person in your life that shows you unconditional love, that shows you unconditional devotion, that shows you unconditional commitment. And even for those of us that are you know, completely stuck in the mud, you know, you can't help because we're not idiots. Like Dave said, he come to find out he was book smart. Well, you know, it's kind of hard. You know, that's another example. Like, how did he not know he was book smart? And this dude's super smart. When he's telling you he's book smart, like he's that smart. Like that's no bullshit. So it's like, for him not to even understand that.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That's just another example of how lost in it he was and we were. So, you know, when you get these persons, these women in your life, and, you know, for those of us that are in here that have had the opportunity to experience this kind of transformation, that you know, when they stick it out with you, and a lot of women come and go in prison. A lot of dudes, you know, like they got gangster groupies, they got all kinds of stuff going on in here. You know, like, not to say that all the chicks that come along are bullshit, now, you know, but you get a lot of crap, and it's easy, you know, for us to justify our behavior when it's like, she'll be around for a little bit, she's gone. You know, there's all kinds of excuses we make. But anyways, when you get that one person that is so consistent in your life that you have no choice but to actually stop and take a minute and say, hold on, what's going on here? Like, what am I doing? You know, like, this person is loving me even when I know that I'm not worthy of their love. This person's committed even when I know I'm not worthy of their commitment, you know? And at that point, you know, when you're in here and this is all you're doing, this is all you know, you're not worthy of it. You know, like when we were living the life we were living, you know, like David said, when the woman came into his life to change his life, when the woman that I committed to my change for, you know, I wasn't worthy of what they were bringing to me. That's just the truth about it. You know what I mean? I know who I was back then, and I wasn't worthy of that. David wasn't worthy of that. We were right where we belonged, and we were doing what our kind did. And the people who came into our life didn't subscribe to this lifestyle. What they were bringing to us was undeserving of us.
Yeah,
you know?
that, you know, he's right about that, and that hit home right there, because remember, I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody in the system, but Jesse and I, we've said what we're here for.
And that's just the beginning of it. That was just the beginning of more destruction. We came in here and continued the very same behavior that brought us to prison. I did it for almost 19 years, 18 years, 19 years in here. I committed to the same kind of behavior that brought me to prison. And so, like how Dave, you know, like Dave was saying, you know what I mean? So it's not you know, so when those people come, sometimes they end up leaving before they're able to get through, because not all women are built like that. Not all people, it's not easy to do this time with anybody. This isn't, especially when we make it harder than it needs to be. That's the truth about it. You know, some women can do their time with their dudes because their dudes aren't doing the dumb stuff that we're doing. They're not compromising their visits. They're not compromising. They're not bringing all their problems from prison to the relationship. They're not, you know, that's the opposite of the kind of things like that I had done, you know, and so it's just a different dynamic. So like I said, when people, when you know, you start to realize when you get that person in your life, that special person who actually starts to break through that armor and starts to make you stop and think like, okay, hold on, you know, like what I'm doing isn't just affecting me, it's affecting someone else, you know, and that person, you may not have been worthy of that person's love, but that person is way more worthy than what you've given them. So maybe you should stop and think about what you're doing, you know, and you got to start calling into question the life that you're living, you know. So it's not just, you know, the question was, why is a woman, you know, a good love, or a woman not enough to get you to change? It's absolutely not in the beginning. It takes a very strong, particular kind of woman to get through to somebody. You know what I mean? Because love is not what we were looking for. You know, and the love that the way we perceive love and the way we identify love was totally different than what a normal person in society may perceive love, because we don't come from healthy places. We weren't healthy individuals. You know?
And we talk about that, Jess and I. Go ahead, James.
So I got a few comments and a few questions that I want to read off to you. The last one that just came in, it's written by Shoot Your Craft, and they write, "I know these guys on the picture, they are sellies." And then we had a comment from. That's a good guess. That was a good guess.
Yeah, we're sellies, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we're in a cell right now. Yeah, we're locked in.
Yeah, you. I'm sure you might have figured that out based on the fact that we were calling from the same cell.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Man, shoot your shit, man. You a bright one.
Jesse go way back too. We'll go way back to the streets before prison.
Shoot Your Craft writes.
He
he wrote another message. Said, "Tell him I'm doing good."
Hey,
who is it?
No, well, I'm not sure. They haven't put their name on there. They just have their username. Shoot Your Craft. Then let me see right here.
I wonder if that's Jeremiah.
Oh, Shoot Your Craft or Shoot Your Craft?
No, Craft.
I don't know.
Craft, like Kraft cheese.
Craft.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Who's
Shoot
that?
Your Craft.
Who's that, Jeremiah?
It's probably one of the fellas. Yeah, or maybe Joe. One of the. Cause
yep.
He says they're doing. Oh, it might be Jeremiah. He says he's doing well.
That's cool. Yeah, we got a lot of people. They
hold on.
Cross paths with Jess and I, you know.
It's
hey,
they know.
Before I forget, I want to send a shout out to the boy Tiny from Long Beach.
Oh, that's right.
That's my boy right there.
Hey, so.
Yep, I seen that, man. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad that he's out and doing good, man. That's the boy right there. And another homie that's here from Orange County, YG, said he remembers Tiny also. Tell him what's up. Serious.
Tell him that. Okay. Oh, so it's Toker from Artesia.
Oh, that's right. I heard Toker got him a good ass job, and he's tattooing his shit out there, man. Tell him I send mine. It's good to hear that he's doing good out there.
Toker?
Yeah.
What the hell? I tell him I said, what's cracking?
The homie was telling me the other day that he's actually doing pretty good out there.
That's cool. Hey, you know what's crazy? I was just thinking about him today because he gave me some clipper oil. And I was putting oil in my clippers, and I was like, you know what? That's so nice for the boy, man, to think about me, you know? I might need some clipper oil. Yeah, I still got it. That's the boy right there.
Yeah, tell Toker we send ours.
He came out. Yep, he left on top. That's all we're gonna say. Yeah. He left his shirt on top.
That's right. And I got another question I got a question from Juan Gomez, and he writes, "What age did they go in at?"
I came in just a couple months after I turned 21.
Yeah, so I came to prison. I came to CDCR at 18 years old. I did a bunch of violations. Got out that was in 2000. I got out in 2008, and then in 2010 I came in at 29, and I picked up a 187 in 2009. So I was 29. I'm 43 now.
Yeah, I'm 44.
Yep.
I came in at 21. I came in for a case that I had committed 4.5 years earlier before I went to the California Youth Authority. So I wasn't out very long. I went to the California Youth Authority and gotten out. I wasn't out very long and ended up getting arrested again for this. Ended up getting arrested for this case.
Yeah, both of us came from the juvenile system too.
Yeah.
Well, I was in the juvenile system, so I was young too.
Then I have another comment from Olivia, and she writes, "I feel that because my man is in prison and he has the same mentality."
Yeah.
The same mentality
as the way that we were before.
Yep,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah, it sucks, man. And the crazy part is you get lost in the sauce. You don't realize that you have any type of mentality. That's just who you are. You know, we don't just come out of the womb guns blazing. You know, maybe Jesse did, but I sure as hell didn't. So, but all bullshit aside, you know, yeah. Pretty sure it's exactly how Jesse came out.
Like Yosemite Sam?
Yeah, Yosemite Sam. I said, man. I said, where's you is it from? No, so you don't come out like that. Like that gets you get nurtured, you get raised in here, by individuals. It's crazy that I came in at 18 and I was raised by gang leaders. They recognized something in me that I had never really heard. They had seen me for being smart, and I was with the business when I was young. I was willing to commit violence at any level for the gang. They embraced me, and I was looking for that. I was looking for that acceptance. I found it within that gang, and I came out to the sauce, man. And now I don't seek acceptance from anybody else. I seek acceptance from myself. My accomplishments are what keeps me going. And if I don't accomplish something, I'm not going to default back into negative living. I have to accept failure as well. I got a C, man. I got a C on a course, a college course, and it was hard. And that was when it was super hard. Jesse saw the way I was going at this course, man. And if I got a C, I don't see how anybody passes that course.
Yeah. That was rough.
That was rough.
I refused to even take that class.
Yeah, he won't even take it from what he saw. Yeah.
All
right.
But it was crazy. I mean, but to that was Olivia who had said that, right? Who made that comment?
Yeah, that is
about
correct.
Her dude being busted. And you know what? My advice to you, Olivia, is sometimes you got to make them hard decisions for him, though. Like sometimes you got to give him some ultimatums. I mean, it's just all about how much you willing to subject yourself to, but you got to definitely tell him, like, start having those talks with him, like, look, man, I understand the homies are there, and I understand they've been there for you, but who's the one taking care of you? Who's the one, holding you down? Who's the one that loves you? Like, at the end of the day, like, what's more important to you? Like, are you ever thinking about coming out of prison and living a normal life with me, with the kids, or whatever the dynamic of your guys' relationship is? And because he's there, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for him to understand what it is. I'll tell you now, a lot of the dudes over there are not so, like enchanted by it anymore, because you're starting to see more and more.
Starting to see what it is.
Yeah, a lot of the BS, because there's just so much weird stuff taking place now that wasn't happening before. And so, but you can definitely love them unconditionally, but at the same time too, sometimes you gotta try not to enable him and try to force his hand a little bit. But it's not to say that you walk away, but just tell him, like, look, man, like, how am I supposed?
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
How am I supposed to feel or believe that you love me or love our family if you're not willing to make us a priority at some point in time? If you're not willing to grow up and act like a man, you know what I mean? And stop acting like a child, or stop being a follower, or stop being subjected to somebody else's ideology. The homies are there, and if they're your homies and they love you and they care about you, then they're going to understand and appreciate that you're making a couple right decisions for yourself. You're getting educated, you stop getting high, you get going to programs, you're doing everything in your power to get your dates knocked down and stop putting yourself in situations that's going to compromise their relationship.
It's going to cut off, James. We'll give you a call back.
All right, and I got some more questions for you from Juan Gomez.
All right.
All right. So they should be calling back shortly, and then I'll go ahead and go through the messages and read them off. If you have a comment or question, I'll go ahead and start reading them off. And if you're new here, definitely check out the YouTube side of our chat. Or sorry, not the chat of the Zach. Let me see. Can you ask mine? Let me check what the question was. Zach. I'm scrolling up, but I do not see it. Would you mind typing it back on the chat?
Es Global Telling. Usted
call
tiene
is now
una
being
llamada
recorded.
propagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be... Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So let's hear it.
So Juan writes, does it change them that they did they're doing a long time, and shoot your craft road. A long time does change us.
It does, man.
100%. 100%.
I'm blown away that that's poker.
Yeah.
That's the boy right there.
100% though. 100% that if I was never given, if I was never put in this situation, put myself in this situation to where it required something like this, and even then, like I said, I did the same thing in here for 19 years. You know, it didn't open my eyes or wake me up. But, you know, they say that around the age of 40, sometimes you can outgrow criminality. That, you know, you just mature, naturally mature, you know. And so, which is crazy, because there's grown-ass men out there that are 22, 23 years old that are mature. Like, why we would have to wait till, you know, we're in our 40s to
we got life.
Yeah, which is weird. But doing a long time, absolutely, and I hate to even frame it like this, but what long sentences can do to you in the end is they can break you. You know, they can break you. Like, we're like wild horses, like wild animals. You know what I mean? And being in here 20, 25, 30 years, you know, even 15 years, you know, like you put somebody in a cage, in a box, you know, and it can break their spirit in a way that's like, okay, hold on, what's going on here? And I would have never come to the place of where I'm at, because I was surrounded by dudes on the main line who were doing life on the installment plan. They would have come back and I seen guys come and come and come and come, and it's like, damn, I remember what it felt like when I got arrested this last time, knowing I was never getting out, and I would never want to go through that again. But these guys have no problem, you know, putting on them bracelets every time. And so, yeah, having a long time, I think it's important, and that's why they say that, you know, the long-term offenders are less likely to offend, you know, because it does something to you, you know, like you get to a place, it's like, okay, well, you know, you learn a little bit of discipline, because if you don't learn some discipline in here, you can't do this time without going crazy, you know, so you do this kind of time disciplined after 20 years, and it starts to shape you a little bit, you know, that arrested development that we were stuck in, we start to naturally evolve out of it, you know, and some guys don't have the tools. Fortunately for us, we've been able to do the work to develop the tools to evolve drastically, but other guys, they just mature a little bit. I know guys in here who are completely dangerous, and they haven't changed their life, they haven't done no self-help, nothing, but they just got to an age, and they're just like, you know what, dog, I'm tired of being the show. And, you know, they're not going to programs. They might even still be getting high, or they might even still just be, you know, but they've stopped being wild. You know what I mean? They get to that place where they're just like, what am I doing? I'm 40 years old, or I'm 35 years old, you know, and I've been the one getting loose on the yard every time. It's time for me to just kick back. I just want to go to my cell. I want to exercise. I want to eat. I want to watch TV. Just mind my own business. And these are guys that ain't ever going to try to get out of prison, but they're definitely not in here doing the stuff they were doing, you know, when they started out their terms.
Yeah, it's crazy. I told you about, James, when I got sentenced, right? When I got life.
Was it because you got, yeah, I remember, but then, you know, right now when you said that, I thought about the time that you told me that you also got a kidnapping charge while you were in custody.
I got an in-house kidnapping. Yep, that's my in-house. Yep. It's crazy that, no, so that's my other term. I got 15 years for that. Let's close my door real quick. Yeah, for the viewers that don't know, I was extremely nuts in here before. I got an in-house case, which means that I came in in 2010, and I was involved with gang stuff, and so we had actually we assaulted somebody in a cell, and when he tried to run out of the cell, I chased him down, and I caught him, and I dragged him back in the cell, and I got 15 years for that on the in-house. Yep, they gave me another strike, gang enhancement, and then but it's a 207 kidnapping. That was the charge. You know, Riverside County, man, they'll get you. But now I had it coming. I was living that lifestyle, but you know, that's what it is. But so when I got sentenced, I was already doing life though. When I finally went back to court for that, they picked it up after I got sentenced, and at that time I received 42 years to life. They took 2 years off though, so I'm down to 40 to life right now. But when you have a judge telling you that, you know, there's no way I can really explain it. You know, the judge was reading it off, and he says the 15 to life, and in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, that's bad, you know. But then when he stacks 25 years to life on top of that, and they say it's real monotonous. It's just matter of fact, you know. And we're going to try for you to stay in prison for the rest of your life, and I'm thinking about that, and it's starting to hit in a little bit. I've been in the county by that time for 5 years, and I'm thinking like, damn, I'm doing the math. I'm like, damn, I'm not going to be at board till I'm 70, and during when I got sentenced, there's no, like, you don't do halftime on life. You're doing life. What you got is you got. You got 15 to life plus 25. Guess what? You're not going to board until you're done with 40 years, 42 years. So I'm doing the math. I'm like, damn, well, I can get up to 70. Maybe I'll live till I'm 80. Might have 10 years out there at the most. Maybe I can live till 90. Maybe I'll have 20. That's the way I'm doing the math in my mind. I'm doing the.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
How long will I have out there? Will I be able to make it? And I'm thinking, man, if I get out and I'm 70, what if I don't have no medical issues? I got to stay healthy. That's the thought process. And slowly but surely, that light disappears. I go back to the cell, and there was an understanding with the guys that I was housed with. Just let me go back, and I don't know if they were just going to give me time for myself. Maybe they thought I was going to cry, or I was going to, I was numb though. By that time, I had already accepted, what was probably going to happen. I was going to be convicted. I did it. I shot the guy. I did it. There's no getting around that. So I go in the cell, and I'm laying there, and I'm looking at I'm laying on the bottom bunk, and when you're looking up from the bottom bunk, you see the bottom of the top bunk, because they're usually there's bunk beds in the cell. So I'm looking up at the bottom of the bunk, and there's all kinds of tagging. There's a Coachella at the bottom of the bunk, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, there's a Coachella, and there's always like a little cross that says Jesus saves. It's on every.
Yeah.
It's right there right next to every Coachella. There's a cross with a Jesus saves. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, damn, there's like sometimes they'll write Bible verses right there, and I'm reading them, and I'm just thinking like, damn. And I'm looking past the bunk, and I'm thinking of just everything that I'm never going to be able to have again. I'm thinking about not being able to drive a car. I'm never gonna see like homegirls of mine. Just nothing. Everything's gone. That light at the end of the tunnel, that 70 years, it just seems like it's just not reasonable. So you close that out. You shut that out of your mind, where it's just darkness. Your future is darkness. It's a giant question mark. So that's what we come to prison like. And then not only that, I'm ready to come to prison. They pull me off the bus and tell me I have a kidnapping, and I'm like, there goes the math again in my head. I'm like, all right, well, what kind of kidnapping? I'm like, I'm asking the officer, like, well, what kidnapping? What year? He's like, I don't know, just a kidnapping. You got a court date next week. We got to pull you off the chain that leads up to prison. So I'm like, damn, in my mind now, everything's going through my mind. I'm like, damn, well, I wonder which one. I wonder what. I wonder.
You got me, partners.
I wonder which. Yeah, I'm thinking in my mind. I'm like, damn, well, what situation could have been construed as that? I'm thinking like gang crimes, and I'm thinking of stuff in my mind, and I'm thinking, damn, well, when could this be? So when they finally take me to court, and they, I get the time, they tell me the situation. I'm like, damn, it's this. This is what I got a freaking kidnapping for. This is like the least incident that I've been in the county. I was in dozens of incidents in the county. I was raising my hand for everything. So I'm thinking, damn, this is the one they picked up. They picked up on me. So then they give me 15 more years, and I'm starting to do the math again. Well, if I get 15 years, boom, I could get out. Maybe something will happen. All right, so the 70 will be like 85. Maybe I'll get 85% on that. So now I'm I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm never going home again. There's nothing. They ended up giving me a deal for consecutive time. No, concurrent time. So I got 15 years concurrent, but I did get the extra strike. And the way the DA probably looked at it was like, well, this idiot's going to get life. He's going to get struck out the moment he gets to prison, because I had life, but I also have 2 strikes. So if anything were to happen and I was to hurt somebody else in prison, they'd just pick it up and give me another 25 to life. So all that's just running through my mind. So it's a sobering feeling to come to prison like that. I had asked Jesse, because I was in the county with Jesse, and we were together on the streets. So when Jesse caught the 187, I was in prison. So I ended up coming back into the county, and I asked him about it, and I remember him telling me, he goes, I just accepted it, and I was like, damn. He'd been in the county for like 3 years probably at that time, but it always stayed in the back of my mind. But Jesse told me, like, you just got to accept it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can do court dates, you can do battles, legal battles, but at the end of the day, that door is going to close behind you, and you're going to have to look into your future, which is just emptiness. And the quicker you accept that, the quicker you can start figuring out how you're going to live your life from here.
And the irony in that, though, is even though I was telling him that was probably what, like 2003, 2004.
I seen you in 2004.
2004,
yeah.
2004, when he came in and was like, "What's up?" You know. So the irony in that is I fought my case for 6.5 years the first time, almost 7 years in the county jail before I came to prison, and when I came up that whole 6.5 years, you know, I didn't give a damn. I was wilding out because in my mind it was like, I'm never getting out. I'm picking up whatever cases I can. I'm gonna do whatever, because once I leave to prison, this is the closest I'll ever be to home again, being in the jail in Indio, being in my county.
Yep.
You know, so in my mind, you know, I was going to do whatever I had to do to stay there as long as I did. So anybody that needed to get moved on, anything that, you know, whatever had to be done to pick out. My objective was to get as many cases as I could to hold me there.
That's the thought process.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah, the quicker, the more cases I pick up, the more court dates I'm going to have, and I'm going to be able to stay home.
Right, and the more I get to move around the county system
Yep.
and see people that I know and continue my enterprise, and just, it was just the whole thing, right? But the reality was, is it wasn't until the day that I got to prison, the day when they closed the door behind me in Delano reception, that the reality set in. I had been there 6.5 years, had already been sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, you know, all that stuff, and had already spent years in ADSEG in the county jail, you know, because I was, you know, like I said, I was, you know, committing a bunch of crimes.
They put you in the hole when you came up too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had the same experience. I came up with life, and they put me straight in the hole.
Yeah, I was already in the hole because I had whacked somebody in the county. That was the last time that I had whacked somebody, and they kept me back there that time for 2 years. You know, the last 2 years of my county stay, and they weren't going to let me out again because I had done it several other times. And back then they used to do 90 days in ADSEG, you know, and they let you out. 2 months in ADSEG, transfer you to another jail, then other jail would let you out.
Yep.
But because I had done so many things in so many different jails, they were like, no, we're not letting this fool out. The last time I ended up slicing somebody in Southwest, and they put me in ADSEG, and I basically gave them what they needed to keep me there this last time. And so when I was there, when I like I said, I came up to prison, and the whole time I was there, nothing had ever broken through the armor. Like I told you, you just accept it. To me, it was nothing. I'm doing my time. I knew when they arrested me and they interrogated me, I knew I was never walking out of prison again. That's just the mind that I had, and it was like, whatever, it is what it is. I'll make the best of it. Here we go. You know, let's you know, strap up. Let's do this.
Yep.
But when I actually walked into that cell in Delano, and I walked into that dark gray brown, you know, concrete cell.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And I was in there by myself, like literally, I felt it. That was the first time in you know, almost 7 years that I had been incarcerated that I felt I was locked up. I was just like, oh shit, I'm gonna die right here. I'm gonna die in a cell like this. Because now I'm in prison. You know, the county jails, they're not all gloomy. You know, there's white walls, and, you know, it's not bad. They're kind of ugly. Some of it's gloomy looking, bars and whatnot. But for the most part, it's a different feeling where when walking into prison, you know, razor wires and towers and rifles being pointed at you. And when you walk into that cell and that door closed behind me, I felt my heart drop. I felt this cloud, that, you know, rest on my shoulders. And it was just like...
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I remember telling myself that, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm going to die right here. I'm going to die in this cell.
Even the tagging, I look for the tagging, it's all different, like different neighborhoods, mostly like regional. You know, you got guys from up north, down south. You get more like black gangs, and, you know, and you start seeing stuff and like, damn, you know.
I'm not at home anymore.
I'm not at home no more. It's all different. It's all foreign, you know, like what, you know. I just want to find one Coachella, just one.
Yeah.
Looking for anything, just one.
And if it's not there, I guess I'm going to have to put it.
I'm not even fucking shut out. I'm just gonna write it. I'm gonna write it. I have to see it. I have to. It's become an obsession.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna call back, James. You want another call?
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I got another question for you when you guys call back. All right. Doreen Waters writes, "Breaks my heart." And man, they in the state of California, they definitely got a bunch of prisons, filled up right now with a lot of individuals, Eric Martinez writes, I know if someone who was sentenced to 7 to has been down 50 years. Damn. Is he like a number, Eric?
Call is now being
Este es
recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
5.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, hello.
James, yeah.
All
Hey, I
right.
wanted to stress something to the
Go ahead,
I
go
wanted
ahead.
to stress something to the listeners, right? That I've talked about it before, as far as what it's like to come upstate and go to the hole to begin with. You know, going to the hole when you come upstate, or when you're in prison, right? You're on the yard already, and you go to the hole, like you're already used to being like upstate. You know, you it's still difficult enough, but that feeling though that Jesse was talking about, when he's coming up with life without parole. Same with me, I'm coming up with life. And they take us off the bus, we come on the train, and as soon as we go to the counter and they run my name, well, I have an older CDC number, I had a P number. So they already know what they're going to do. I don't even know why they're even asking us this. But I go there, they're like, well, what's your old CDC number? I tell them P89697, and they're just like, all right, lock up. You know, and I'm like, that feeling though, it's like, damn, you know, and they take us and they move us apart. They don't take the cuffs off. They switch on to like CDCR cuffs. They'll leave the cuffs on, they'll put the new ones on, take the old ones off, and then they take me to a cage. And so when you come in and when they lock that door behind me, and, you know, I had an indeterminate shoe term. So the listeners that don't know what that is I was indefinitely in the hole. And there was no determined date for me to ever leave the hole because of my gang affiliations and violence in prison. So I was pulled off of the line, and for the safety and security of the institution, they weren't going to leave me out in the hole no more. So I was like that for years. You can take it off this; it's close enough. So Jesse was the same way: gang affiliations, violence. He received an indeterminate shoe term. So we looked at that as a rite of passage. You know, when I got my indeterminate and I seen it, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be back here. All the real soldiers are back here in the hole. Like, there's no...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That's how I looked at it. Like, all the real killers, all the real soldados, they're all back here with us. Like, this is where I belong. You know, with people like me. So it was a rite of passage. But now, all these years later, I'm coming up with life, and that door gets closed behind me. And they don't give you a cellie normally when you come in from the county and into ABSEG. You don't have nothing coming. You don't have no property. You don't got nothing. You get a bedroll.
So cleared by the captain first.
Yeah, the captain's got to come see you. It's within 24 hours. You get a custody captain to come and like just double check while you're in the hole and if they're going to keep you there and what their recommendations are. So the captain comes the next day. Well, I'm happy to see the captain. You know, honestly, I was thinking it's going to be all good. Shit was not all good, but that's another story. So I come in, and they close the door, and that's it. No gang leader aside, dope man, you know, this and that, all this status, reputation, none of that. You're in there with yourself. You don't have a cellie. You get a vent that's super loud. The vent's always loud because everybody else has already covered theirs, so all the air's just blowing into your cell. It's like it's a bad echo in there. It's always too cold, you know, it's cold and your cell's nasty, you know, you got one towel and you're like, damn, you know, I can't sleep in this cell like this. It's just disgusting. Who knows who was in there? Like, when's the last time somebody else cleaned it? You get one little bar of soap and you get one towel, you know, and I'm thinking, damn, you know, I'm going to have to use my towel and I'm going to have to use the soap because I got to wash this I got to clean the cell. You know, so most of us, and there's nothing to really rip the towel off on because they don't have lockers in the hole. You know, so I have to find a place to like...
At the corner of the wall by the door.
Yeah, that's what I use, the corner of the wall. So I'm walking around the cell and I'm feeling the edges. You know, but that just comes from being in the hole for a long time. I already know what to do. So I'm feeling the edges of the corners because I need a little bit of resistance. I want to feel a little bit of sharpness on the concrete. So I finally spot the corner, and I'm gonna use that and I'm gonna saw through my tail. You know, then I gotta start cleaning. I gotta wipe up stuff. I'm not putting nothing on my bunk, and that's a whole process. You know, and then you got dudes hitting you up. Hey, homie, what? I'm so and so from this, from this place. I need to see your lockup order, your 114, who you run with, boo, 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 boo. So you got to do all that whole dance too. So it's like, man, not only do I don't even have enough time to situate bird bath. I got to freaking clean up the pad. Not only that, I got to use this little piece of towel to clean up all the bird bath water. But now I got to find a way to fish my lockup order, my 114, which is the paper they gave me that shows why I'm in the hole, to whoever I'm affiliated with, just so I can get a welcome. Yeah. We send ours. This is so and so. And then usually comes with a big old freaking rule book. This is what you do, this is what not to do, and it's just crazy, man, how that whole process works. But yeah, it got me thinking a lot, James, when you guys, when the viewers mentioned change and being in for a long time, because there's just so much that comes along with it. And when we say we're tired and we're done, we're just basically like, you ever seen like a dog, James, that just says, I'm not gonna freaking move no matter what you do, you're gonna have to drag me forward?
Yes.
You ever seen that, James?
Yeah.
You're walking a dog and it's just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to sit right here, and whatever happens, happens, and I'm just going to lay down in the grass, and you're going to, I'm not going to cooperate anymore. Hey, you can pull on that leash, and its head will go forward, it'll growl a little bit, you know what I mean? But it doesn't even have the determination to bite you. It's just like, you know what? I'm not moving another inch. And that's when you start your recovery. That's how it starts.
Sorry to interrupt you, David, but we got a message and they we got Lupita, and she's asking, is this Jesse? And I put yeah, and then she writes, oh wow, I know him.
I'm not surprised, Lupita.
If this is Lupita, if this is my friend Lupita from way back, and she's married to my friend who's like my brother, I really need to talk to you, Lupita. If this is you, it's funny. If this is Lupita M, hit me up, Lupita. I need to talk to you. I just heard something recently that blew me away. So I don't know if it's you, but if you can.
Oh, homeboy's girl.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
She said it's me.
I don't know if it's Lupita. Man, what's up? Hey, hit me up. If you can, hit me up. BB's was gone, so I didn't get a chance to get your number. I was going to call when I heard this stuff recently, and so I wanted to call and just check and see what's up. But I hope everything's going good with you, man. We send our love. Yeah. Just I don't want to say too much on here, but I hope everything's doing good. I hope you're staying blessed. I hope I hope the kids are blessed. I hope everything's going good. Definitely. I know you doing all right. Because you're a trooper like that. Lupita's a boss for any of you guys who don't know her.
All right.
Definitely a trooper. And yeah, so that's cool. I've known Lupita since I was a kid.
That's cool, man. It's crazy how we get connected with so many people on this.
But isn't it ironic that I was literally just talking about her
like 3 days ago, 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago about, just something that's mind blowing of how this is happening, because something that came to my attention, and I was just like, man, a mutual friend of ours who used to had the number, went out to court, and I had the number a long time ago, but when I went to the hole, I lost it, and so I was telling my celly, like, man, if I would have heard this before BB's left, we could have called her and just see what's up, and stuff like that. And so it was just crazy. But and so now there she is on the channel. That's awesome. Thank you for listening, Lupita.
Hey, you know what? And Felipe got recognized last night on that video visit. Somebody dropped a comment. I clipped that video visit yesterday, and somebody dropped a comment there like that.
Hey, don't say the comment out loud.
No, I'm not. I wasn't.
Don't say the comment out loud. We're gonna get kicked. We're gonna get kicked off. No, we're gonna get kicked off.
Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I know it was bad. No. Don't say it, James. We'll get suspended indefinitely now. We'll get an indeterminate shoot term.
Lupita wrote that she'll get at him. So she'll get at Jesse. Yup.
Yeah, whatever you do not get it, Felipe. Bad news. No. Bad news. No, I always see him, man. I love that little fucker, Felipe.
Man, where is he?
The mom's being mean to him today.
He didn't jump on
I
the
see him
vent
over
today.
there freaking. Nah, he's over there barking. He's probably listening in the vent though, 'cause he's like that, you know. He's over there running around the tail park.
I made some burritos today. I shot him his burritos. He probably went and ate them and went into a coma.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him since.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him since. I know he saved it. He's probably supposed to save one of them because we're gonna watch the Canelo fight tonight.
You know.
Hey, you guys get it? You guys get it for free?
Huevo. Come on, we're right here by Mexicali, so we get all the Mexican channels. We get them for free.
Yeah, what's up? You want us to give you a play-by-play?
Nah, hey, I got the pirata right here. You know, I'm gonna watch it too.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what's crazy is we also get the UFC fights whenever they play them. Whenever they run the UFC fights, and you gotta pay for them.
Uh-huh.
They run them for free in Mexico. I haven't seen them in a long time, low key though, so I don't know if we're getting them anymore. But usually when there's like a big one that they'll show you the pre-fights on ABC. Or what was it? Yeah, Fox. Whenever they show it, it's like
the prelims.
Yeah, the prelims when they show you those ones, but you have to pay for the main event.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get the main event like at 10 or 11 o'clock at night on one of the Mexican stations.
Yeah, because they're. I know one of my buddies, his uncle had this satellite system called Sky, which operates in Mexico, and like the fights and whatnot, they would be on there for free, like on ESPN or HBO. I guess they have different contracts outside the United States. They're definitely getting us, you know, when it comes to fights and whatnot on HBO.
Yeah, they stream it digital. We're so close to Mexico right here, being in Centinela, that they stream it digital, so we get it. You know, but yeah, I was kind of mean to Felipe today, so I feel bad, you know. But you know, that's my buddy. I was in a bad mood this morning when I went out to yards, and he was just on me, you know, like Dad. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, fucking, just not, Dad. Felipe, just shut up, Dad. You know, and then if I punch him, he'll punch me back, and it hurts. You know, the little fucker's got some power. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, punch on him, that fool fucking swing back fast. He's like one of them little baby kids. You know what I mean? That fool swing at me super fast. So I tell him, I'm like, you know, Felipe, I just want to punch on you. He's like, oh, well, so I'll punch you back. And I was like, yeah. 9 months later, when you wake up out of your coma, that fool's funny though, man. Yeah, I love that little fucker.
Out of your coma and find out you're pregnant. 9 months later, you're in a coma and you just gave birth.
Dad. Yeah, that little fool, man. Nah, he's got a good. I'm glad you guys got to meet Felipe, you know, and hear his story and hear his personality. That fool he's the same across the board.
Yeah, he never switches up.
Never. Yeah. I wish he would switch up, honestly. Yeah, he's one person I want to switch up a lot.
Yeah, because I'm about to switch him up.
Yeah, so
I got to be stuck with him all day because we actually go to vocation together. So I'm gonna sit right next to me. And, you know what I mean? If I had any chance of getting any work done and getting certified as a small engines mechanic, that went out the window when they started letting dogs go to work. When you look at Chihuahua in the shop,
hey, he's pretty strong, James. This little fool's strong. We got a beast mode workout crew. Me, him, and another homie named Chio, and we're always together. We do all like the crazy workouts. We like to do like if we see it in a magazine like Men's Fitness or Men's Health or something like that, we try those workouts, P90X, and you know, so we do them right. But this fool is strong. Like we do a ridiculous amount of pull-ups, and this fool he'll rock all the pull-ups, and this little fool will do he does a muscle up. He does a bunch of them though. That's when you're like hanging from the bar and you just throw yourself up, and he goes above the pull-up bar, and I can't do it. I could do hundreds of pull-ups, and I cannot do one muscle-up. Maybe if I go out there fresh, you know, but it blows me away how he does that.
You're going to have to put Felipe in one of those water bags. You have to put him in a water bag, and instead of filling it up with water, you just fill it up with Felipe.
That's not a bad idea. I'm going to try to bag him as soon as I see him. I'm going to
bag him up.
Yeah, just bag him and drag him.
Bag him and drag him.
Yeah, loud-ass little water bag, huh? Yeah.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Do you want to do another call, James?
Yeah. My wife took off. She was like, man, you're taking too long. I'm out. Going to Dollar Tree without you.
Well, called a Dollar Tree.
Oh, how could you pass that up?
Yeah. Yeah, you failed all of us today,
Yeah,
James.
yeah, you could have found all kinds of good stuff.
I'm gonna call you back.
All right, cool. All right, all right. So we're currently on the line with Jesse and with David. They're currently located in Centinela State Prison, and they are on the yard. And Brianna writes, or she's the little laughing emojis. Was that about curling Felipe? Are they still in? What's I'm not sure what that is. XANG. If you don't mind clarifying right there, I'll be more than happy to ask them.
Esta
This
es
call is
Global
now being
Oh.
Calling.
recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Link.
Hello, hello.
James. Yeah.
All right. So I got
Yep.
two questions for you right now. I got
Cool.
the first question is gonna be from Key, and they write, "Where in California is that located?" And then the second question is gonna be from Juan, and Juan wants to know, "Are you guys still in a gang?"
No. The second question, no, we're no longer gang members. We're out. So
I'm here for the gangbang.
not now, NAVA.
Oh, okay.
No. He's like, anybody know a good gangbang?
Yeah.
No.
Remember on that one movie? Where old boy shows up with his little afro and everything? Said that fool's out of town. Damn, what movie is it?
Was it This Is the End?
Old School.
Old School?
Yeah, the movie Old School with Will Ferrell and them, and the mother shows up at the pad, and he's supposed to be out of town, and this dude's supposed to be out of town, right? And he comes home early to surprise his old lady, and she's in there getting dogged out by a couple cats in the room. Right?
Oh, wow.
One of them's got a mask on, and it's going hard, right? So she's like, "Oh, it's not what it looks like, it's just extracurricular, like."
What?
And so anyways, so then he's like, he walks down the stairs just all miserable and just broken and crushed, and another guy walks out of the bathroom right as he's walking out of the room. So there was three of them, right? And he goes down, and somebody knocks at the front door, and he walks through the front door. It's a cat right there, looks like an old '80s porn star. He's like, "I'm here for the gangbang."
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so no, I'm definitely not a gang member anymore.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But I'm definitely here for the gangbang.
Hey, the freaking hey, so we're in the worst part of California that you could possibly be in, right?
We're in the devil's armpit.
Yeah, we're over here we're kind of by what? We're in Imperial.
Yeah, 20 minutes from the Mexico border from Mexicali.
So we're in between San Diego and Yuma, I guess, somewhere.
Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah, but like you drive out to the middle of nowhere, just keep on going, and then you'll eventually run into a prison, or you'll probably get lost in.
We're at the complete southeast corner of California.
Yeah.
The furthest south you can go, and not the furthest east, but definitely right, within, 30 minutes of furthest.
Mexico, yeah, by Mexicali.
Yeah, we're about 40 minutes from Arizona, 45 minutes from Arizona, and about 20 minutes from Mexico. So we're way over here in the middle of nowhere.
We're way down here.
Hot as hell.
Donovan is closer to Mexico though, but that's over there by TJ, San Diego. Huh? Donovan's probably closer, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, we're down here. What is it? The Pelican Bay of the South? Yeah, we're down here. But the crazy part, this is it's a good thing to be in prisons in Southern California if you're from Southern California.
Visit-wise, but these are the worst prisons as
Yeah.
far as
Just for visits.
Visits are the only benefit of being in a Southern California prison, because I don't want to say all Southern California prisons, but definitely the ones out here in these deserts, like Ironwood, Calipat, Centinela, You know what I mean? All these prisons, as far as like just the resources and everything that the prisons have, we get the bare minimum.
Yeah, no one wants to drive out here to give us resources.
Right.
You know, it's not. This isn't the place that you want to go. Most of the places where they actually do things that are positive and pro-social for prisoners are. And that's not even it's not even an accurate word anymore. For incarcerated individuals, is like Lancaster is ideal. You always hear stuff going on in Lancaster because that's Los Angeles County State Prison. So you know, it's right there outside of LA. That's where Justin Bieber went and all that. You know, there's a lot of actors going, stuff like that. But Chino's a dump. That's actually.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That would be an ideal location to be, is Chino Prison, Chino, California. I've been to Chino probably 5 times, but I've never been there like as, you know, programming or doing positive stuff. I was a Palm Hall baby. I lived in Palm Hall and Chino. That's the hole right there. Ironwood is by Blythe. It's another wasteland out there. Blythe at least has the river, you know.
Ironwood's actually not a bad prison. They got a lot of resources, a lot of programs and stuff, but yeah.
We got lucky that. Go ahead.
For Ironwood, didn't they turn that one into a non or a 50-50 yard?
Yep, the whole prison. Level 2,
Yep.
non-designated facility.
Yeah, I was talking to.
Yeah, that's Go ahead.
I was talking to Eric's buddy that's over there, and he was telling me that yesterday that they were doing a bunch of different changes, and that and one of them was that one that it was 50-50 now and non-designated. So a bunch of people ended up staying over there, and some people left.
Well, the crazy part about the 50-50 concept is it's an extremely violent process where everybody's getting hurt. Not everybody, but a lot of people are getting hurt. You know, and I feel bad because they have it here. We have building 4 in our yard is a 50-50. And so they're bringing active gang members into that building, and they're just beating the crap out of these guys. And pretty much every Tuesday and Wednesday morning, weekly. Every Tuesday, they'll get a bus here Monday night, Tuesday morning they go to breakfast and just beat the brakes off some old person. You know, and that's what they do. These dudes are fighting back. They'll be like little 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s. Sometimes it's 6-on-6s, yeah. And this is common. This is happening every week right here, 2 days a week at least. And I feel bad for these guys. Like the same thing goes for me and Jess. Like eventually, I'm not level 4 anymore. Jesse's already level 2. This is a level 3 yard, so you can house level 2s with level 3s on an override. And Jesse's here on an override because of college, because we have in-person college. But eventually, I'm going to lower down to level 2 also. So me and Jess, we're going to be on a yard where they're going to flip to 50-50, and it's going to be the same scenario. We talk about it like, well, when they bring those dudes in from the bus, I'm going to miss chow that day. I'm just not going to go to breakfast. Yeah, because I'm not about that. I'm not about that no more. I don't have nothing to prove. I got nothing to prove to nobody. Those dudes do not scare me. They don't scare me in the slightest. The fact of the matter is I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to get home to my family. I have a responsibility to continue my positive, nonviolent lifestyle. I'm not in a gang. I'm not accountable to anybody but myself. And I don't got to be out there front line. I've done all that. I've done it in real prisons, in real yards. I've done it in 180 level 4s. I grew up in the system. And what I realized is that that's a cycle that does not end until you end it. You have to be that dog that just lays down in the grass and just will not move. That's how it ends.
Let me ask you, because I got a question that I overlooked a while back from Albizi, and Albizi's asking, what would you tell the young cats these days what would you do differently if you had a chance?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
We talk about this stuff, Jesse and I, quite often. If there's any advice that I can give, is to do good in school. Just just embrace it. Just do good in school. Do your homework, and don't worry so much about being accepted. It's just what it is. If people don't like you, or people, if you don't fit in with a certain group, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be alone your whole life. You're going to meet your person. You can have meaningful relationships, meaningful friendships, and the people that care about you, they're not going to put you in harm's way. That really care about you.
You gotta give yourself opportunities. One of my biggest regrets is I never gave myself an opportunity. I used my experience, I used my traumas, I used my, as an excuse to take the easy route, take the easy road. And like David said, I never been a dummy. I just was never willing to apply myself in school. And so you have to give yourself opportunities. And school's not for everybody either, but pay attention there, because it'll teach you some things. It'll teach you discipline. It'll teach you perseverance. It'll teach you things that you don't have to experience hard lessons to learn these things. And that's the reality. It'll teach you strong work ethic. It'll teach you discipline. It'll teach you a lot of things, that'll prepare you later on in life. And it starts right there in those kind of places. And if you ever want to make it anywhere, it'll open doors for you to go other places, and a lot of us, the last grade I finished before I got my GED in the California Youth Authority, the last grade that I started from beginning to end and finished was the 4th grade. I made it almost all the way to the end of 5th grade, literally like the last month or couple months, of the 5th grade. But I literally, from there, that day, so I'll say 5th grade, never again did I finish a school year. Never again was I willing to, apply myself in school. So stay there, because everybody who sees it through, it's going to open a door somewhere else. It's going to put you in, positions to get, scholarships, to get financial aid. And just remember, no matter what's going on around you, it always gets worse. And right here is a perfect example. I gave my whole life to an institution, somehow, some way. I've given my whole life to this stuff. Over 30 years I've spent basically incarcerated. And so it's like, you don't want to do this. So whatever's going on in your home, whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're going through, don't allow it to shape you in a way that puts you in a space that you start to think that this is okay. That you start to think that hanging out with people who are out there committing violent crimes and committing crimes, that's a way to validate yourself. Just trust and believe it's not. The validation I get today from getting a good grade in school, or from doing something pro-social and positive and constructive, if I could have understood that and appreciated that when I was younger, it would have been awesome. I wish I could go back and do it all over again, because then the things that I'm doing now wouldn't be as difficult as they are for me. So.
And what's crazy is that even most of the people that aren't really involved to the extreme that Jesse and I were, they're gone, they're dead. And that's the crazy part is Jesse and I we share a lot of mutual friends, and a lot of those friends they're dead, they're gone, and they didn't even do half the stuff we did, and that's the crazy part is they get swept into a lifestyle. You're going to lose a lot of your friends. You're going to the crazy part is you can lose your life, but taking a life is no joke. Once you understand what that does to your community, to their family, your family, it's a horrible feeling to know that I'm responsible for that. And I didn't come into this life thinking that that's what I was going to do. I didn't. I was listening to the music. What does Dr. Dre rap about? Big screen TVs, money, blunts, and bitches.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but the fact of the matter, that's not what that life is.
No.
That life is pain.
It's sales.
Yeah, it's hardship. It's misery, man. Your friends are gonna die, and people are gonna die around you. You're not gonna see your family get older. You're gonna miss relatives that get older, that pass away, and you're gonna be just stuck in here. It's an endless loop.
Definitely want to give yourself those opportunities.
Yeah, you don't, out there, man, you can get a cool job. There's a lot of opportunities, make some money, get a cool ass ride, and you could still wear big clothes when you're on your free time. Big clothes, you can get yourself a cool little whip, cool car. Get a system in there. Have all that stuff. Take trips to Vegas, or like James going around the world. There's all kinds of stuff you can do.
James an international player.
Yeah.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Hey, I got
That's the stuff that we want to do. Go ahead.
Hey, call back because I want to read us some questions right here. We just had Fish Slayer SoCal show up on the YouTube side, and we also got Chubby Jessica, and then I got some more questions on the TikTok side.
Fish Slayer SoCal, we've been trying to get a hold of you, my boy. What's going on?
Yeah, we've been trying to call him, but he must have been out on that water. We send our love to all.
Send our love, yep.
Chubby
Jessica as well.
Jessica too, always a faithful listener. Always pleasure having her here.
Hey, we're gonna give you a call back.
All right, for sure. Thank you. All right, so I do. Let me see. Mario Angel 787. Are you from Puerto Rico? So the A numbers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they stopped being issued back like in the late 70s, and then they were replaced by B numbers. So depending on people could tell like when you entered the system based on the letter of the alphabet that you got when you came in. Now they no longer issue out single digit letters. It's double digits now. So I think they're like on B numbers now. B something.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Talent. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o gracias por utilizar Global Talent.
5. Hello.
What's up? Yeah, you gotta press 5, man. Don't block us.
All right. So, so Fish Slayer, he just dropped $19.99. So I'll go ahead and give one of these. You might want to pull out your headset, David. So I don't want to startle you.
Hey, I'm like a cat frozen right now. All my hair's raised. I know what's happening. Hey, gracias, man. It's the boy right there, man. He always looks out for Jess and I, man. Always. Never forgets about it, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep. He always makes sure we're fresh in here.
Yep.
We really, really appreciate it, man.
We could use that for James. We're going to use that for some shipping and handling when we get ready to start firing up and tapping.
Hey, are we going to send him some? We got to send EJ some. Fish Slayer. We got to send him some taffy. I almost slipped. Yeah. We got to send the boy some taffy. My bad.
Yep. We've been, and let them know too. Like I said, we've been trying to reach them on the weekend. We don't like to call during the week because the week schedule gets kind of busy. So we try to give him a holler on the weekend. But I'm assuming he's been out on the water. Blue was supposed to call him the other day and let him know we were trying to call and stuff. Yeah.
Hey, what flavor are we gonna send? We're gonna send the boy.
Felipe's daddy.
That's what I was thinking. Is he gonna be Felipe's daddy? We can send him.
Is your granddaddy?
Hey,
Yep.
my wife she forbidden me from having any of Felipe's daddy. She was like, you that one, that one definitely you're not gonna get that one. She was like, Charles.
What? That was bomb right there. She could be Felipe's daddy. Everybody could be Felipe's daddy out there. They don't understand,
Why, is that the pineapple one?
It's the mango one.
Oh, the
it's
mango
orange
one.
mango, yeah.
Okay. Why
Like
does she
mango tango.
Does she not understand what she's doing?
Yeah.
She's keeping you from heaven.
She's like, look, man, I'm supporting all this stuff you're doing right now, but you will not be Felipe's daddy.
Yeah, this is where you cross the line when you become Felipe's daddy.
I named the taffy flavor. I thought it was a good marketing idea to name a taffy Felipe's daddy. And my thought process was like, look, any viewer, anybody out there that wants to become Felipe's daddy, you can go ahead and send $10. $20
for a brick.
Yep, to James, and you too can be Felipe's daddy for the low price of $9.99.
Hey, Fish Slayer said he's been out in the water. He said, but hit him up tomorrow.
That's what we thought. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give him a call. That's what we thought.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we like touching base with him. That's the boy right there. What else was I gonna tell you? Yeah, so we got. You said, what are you doing with all this taffy?
You said you had some questions.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I
want to know how the taffy's doing.
I know
I don't know how
Jesse.
it's doing. Have you tried any?
Not yet. No, I'm waiting for Jesse to let me know who I need to send it out to, and then I need to post it up.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Very well.
I got a few more questions for you on TikTok and YouTube. Let me see right here. So I'm gonna read off two questions for you. We got one from Zach C, and he writes, "Does time drag by when you does time drag by when you when you're in?" So he wants to know if your time is moving slow. And then the second question is going to be from Astrid Win 3, and they're asking. Let me see. Oh, I just lost it right now. I had it right from me. Okay, have either of them done the Gogi program?
Hey, believe it or not, I'm a
Gogi.
I'm a certified Gogi community coach. Absolutely, I had to write a thesis and everything. Yeah, so I've done Gogi.
Yeah, I've done Gogi as well. I'm definitely not a coach. Not even well versed in it. But I've done the program. Yes, myself is an actual coach.
Yeah, I got a certification and everything. It depends on the time dragging by. It's so crazy because 14 years has just gone by in a blink. You know, it's insane. You know, I don't really notice time like that no more. You know, Jesse, I know, because he's been in longer than me. You know, straight through. I've been in 14 straight right now. Jesse's been in 23 straight. I have over 20 plus years in the system in CDCR because of my old number. But yeah, straight through. It seemed like when I was doing violations and stuff before, it went slower. Like I can literally, the seconds went by like drops of water. You know.
I didn't. This is Jesse. I didn't do a day at a time until I actually began my transformation. Until I changed my life.
Yeah.
I honestly, I had no concept of time because I was doing life without, and even when I wasn't doing life without, I lived in the moment. I lived in the minute. I lived for the day. I had no concept of time. It meant nothing to me. It didn't mean anything. I was just here, living life, and so when you're hopeless like that, the time is not a problem. It's easy to do it because you're just here. You're just making the best of every moment. And it wasn't until I actually began to transform my life and change my life that I got sober, got off of drugs, stopped, dabbling in the criminal elements, and basically that I actually started doing time. And this last 4 years, when it started, it was a slow ride. And there's days, like Dave says, where sometimes it's like, man, is this time ever going to end? Because I feel like I've outgrown prison. I feel like this isn't my home anymore. Like now I'm conscious of like, whoa, we're locked in a box. We're locked in a cage. We're locked in a, what I mean? This is not normal. How did I allow myself to do this for 19 years and be completely content and okay with it? And this isn't, that's just on this term, I've been locked up all my life in some capacity or another. And so it's crazy, and I never had a problem with it. It didn't bother me. I was like, all right, well, I'm here, back at home. I'm back doing where I'm at, And so getting out was more of like a vacation because this is where I spent most of my life. But these last 4 years, since I've committed to my, to my recovery and
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And living a pro-social constructive lifestyle. I'm conscious of the time, probably because I know that I'm going home one day, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to board dates. I'm looking forward to things, where before I didn't look forward to anything, on the weekend for my visit, but other than that, I didn't really look forward to much. And so but there's also times where it's like, dang, why is there not more hours in a day? Dave and I were so busy, I get up at 4:00 in the morning, and from 4 to 6, I do my studies. I do my, because Dave, he could do schoolwork and he can function on that school trip all day and night. It don't matter.
I do, yeah.
I mean, me, I have to. I got such ADD and I'm distracted so easily that if if there's even people out there moving on a tier, I'm looking for an excuse to go find out what they're doing, you know. So I do my best studying in the morning. Of course, I do a lot of schoolwork throughout the day also, but it's spotty because I can't really like focus the way I should be on school. You know what I mean? Because you got to do a lot of reading, you got to do a lot of. So like I said, I get it done when I need to get it done, but it's not I'm not as focused as Dave is in the day room. Like I could never do my homework in the day room unless it's just us right there because people want to come out and hang out with us. But what I was saying is my day starts at 4 in the morning, and I try to have it over by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. You know, but from when I leave my cell at 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, I'm pretty much gone till 7:30 in night. You know, and I'll come back at 7:30, and even I don't get back to the cell sometimes till 9 o'clock. You know, because we'll go to yard or we'll go to day room, and so our day is literally, you know, I go to Voc in the morning at 7:30, 7:45, and I don't come back from Voc till 2 o'clock. From 2, I get to shower, sit down for a second, maybe check my messages, grab a granola bar, and then I'm off the group at 3 o'clock. From 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I'm at group. From 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I'm at school. You know, and so it's just, I'm constantly busy. You know, I come out of school, and on yard nights, we'll either, my son and them will go out and exercise, or I'll come back to the building. If it's day room time, I'll go out there and get my video calls out the way. And that's pretty much what a day looks like. And sometimes it's like, man, I wish I had a couple more hours. I need to get this done. I need to get that done. So the time flies by, actually, you know, but there are days where you know, it's like, man, I wish I could close my eyes and wake up and 2 years will be gone, because I believe in 2 years I should, you know, hopefully, God willing, I could be out of prison, you know.
That's crazy to look ahead and think like, man, I go to board in 2031. That's you know, it's right around the corner. But realistically, you know, what is that, like 6 years away, 7 years away? And to me, the way my concept of time as a lifer is just different. You know, I think well, that's nothing. That's
right around the corner.
Right around the corner. That's gonna be here. It'll be here before I know it. You know. Yeah. But those are actual years. You know, by then, you know, my nephews, my niece, you know, nieces, they're gonna be older. You know, they're gonna. It's just crazy to think like everything goes on around me.
Or you're stuck in a cocoon.
Yeah, I'm stuck in a cocoon. You know, and I still look young. Like, I don't look the older. I know, James, you have a picture right there. That picture's recent. You know, 42 years old. I still feel like I still feel young. So it's pretty crazy.
And it's funny that you asked that question, you know, because on Thursday I went for an attorney visit to go meet with my board attorney, and I'm not going to board. I'm going to petition to advance in May of next year, and that should put me out June, July, August, September, October, around November. Between November and December, I should be going back to board. And so I was out there meeting with my attorney for you know, for the board thing, if I get found suitable in November, December, then I should be out by May of 2026, you know. And they could always deny me again. There's always that, you know, that possibility. But I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, you know. And so hopefully they see, you know, they give me favor, and I'm able to be out there again. But just meeting with my attorney was just another reminder, like, you know, discussing the board process. And we do board talking here all day, but speaking with him about it and just, you know, talking about future plans and stuff like that, like, for, you know, that put another, like, weight on the reality of time. You know, it's like, man, you know, we're at the end of the year already. You know, I mean, what is it, September, October, November, 3 months, and the year's over. I'll be in the year where I'm saying I'm going to board this year. And that's, this time flies. Before you know it, it's like, man, I wish I had a little bit more time to get this done, to get that done, for board, for the process, you know. And that's why we have to stay completely committed to doing everything we're doing, because you know, the time doesn't stop for anybody, and before you know it, you're going to run out of it. And if you're not being productive with every minute of your day, you're not going to be ready when I won't be ready when that time comes.
And you know what's crazy, that I asked Jesse, because him and Ricky Black, we were talking about board, you know, and I was like, just ask me. I'm like, Jess, Ricky, ask me a question. Ask me a question. They're just looking at me like, what kind of question? Ask me a hard one, like a board question that's going to stump me, like a good one. And then they were just looking, they're thinking, and I'm like, come on, you know, ask me. So Ricky asked me like a very simple question, right? He's like, tell me about the last time you relapsed, or why did you, something like that. Like, when was the last time you relapsed, and why did you relapse? And I was like, damn. So I thought about it. I know the date, you know, December 2018, I used marijuana, and I was thinking, I was like, well, no, I used Suboxone, I think. Yeah, so he's like, well, why did you do it? And I was like, well, I don't know, I wanted to. But it was a question that had me stumped because I was like, he wanted to know more thought process behind it. And in my mind, it's such a basic question, but I was like giving him a big old explanation. He's like, yeah, you need to trim all that down, man. So that's what scares me about board, because I overthink everything.
Yep.
I overthink it. It's like, yeah, well, 2018, I used that, but in my mind, I don't really look at that as a relapse because technically I was never cleaned. That's the only thing that kind of confused me, because after that I got clean, but I never really
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I wasn't doing the hard stuff no more. I had been off the hard stuff for years, but I thought about it like, well, I had still that, well, okay, well, I'll just smoke weed and I'll just drink, but so that's never really cleaned. So that's what always confused me about that question. It's like, well, I never technically,
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
because I was never cleaned. But yeah, the board process is man, it's a scary process, James. So you want us to give you another call back, James? We got to get our grub on, man. We're both starving right here.
Okay, so just call back right now. We'll make it short so you could give your shout outs and whatnot, and then yeah, because I'm starving too.
Yep.
I'm falling asleep too. So if you guys call back, and then we'll go ahead and
All right.
part our ways. All right, so they're gonna call back. I'm gonna go ahead and read off some of these messages, and then that'll pretty much just wrap it up. I gotta go. I gotta get something to eat, and then I've been on this computer for a little bit longer than I care to admit, and want to go eat, and then want to watch the fight. Got hit.
Esta es Global
This call
Telling.
is now being
Usted tiene
recorded.
una llamada prepagada de
David Lopez.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
Yep.
All right, so we got a comment from Lovely, and she writes, "Tell him I said God is good all the time, and may He grant his heart's desires, God's timing."
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that. I wish you would have said it more fluent, James. Like you did no justice to that comment.
Ah, man, I'm always butchering all this stuff.
You did no justice. Our bad for our buddy.
Yeah.
Lovely. Our bad.
And then we got.
Jesse hooked up some burritos.
Oh man, hey, shoot it!
Right there in the hot pot.
Shoot it!
Yeah, we got to shoot one.
We got them sitting in the hot pot. We try to drag it out a little bit so that way we can have one for the Canelo fight too. But I think I'm gonna end up chewing on Dave's leg in a minute
Yep, I cannot get out of here. I am locked in, so you don't want him hungry. All right, go ahead, James. What else?
And then we got Chubby Jessica. She writes, "Good show, thanks, James." And then we also got Eric Martinez, and he writes, "Sometimes the easiest question is the hardest one to answer. Everything will work out."
It's true, and that's just what it is. I just can't overthink everything. Like I'm well versed. My recovery is genuine, but it's crazy because I didn't keep track of my recovery like that. They want you to know names, dates. Well, they're not asking you names or anything like that, but they want to know dates. Dates are important, I guess, and so they want your clean time. And I'm like, damn, well, I remember the last time that I had used something to get me high was in December of 2018, but I haven't narrowed down. But that's just like I didn't really think of it beyond that. When I had got off of what I got off of before, yes, I had made commitments not to use the hard stuff and things like that, but I wasn't.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I had never also honestly thought about being cold turkey. It's not something that crossed my mind. It wasn't where I was keeping track. Okay, well, this is the day, this day forward. I now proclaim myself sober. I had never done it. It just turned out that things were more important to me than some chemical and stuff like that. My wife was more important to me than getting in being on one and shit like that. And I just knew I couldn't have her and that, so I made a decision that she was more important. But as far as violence goes, I was still extremely violent during that time. When I had made a commitment to not get off of, or to get off of the hard stuff, like I was still putting the guard down all the time. So I can't tie in the two and be like, well, I was in recovery at this date. Why? Because I had said I'm not going to use the white stuff no more, or any of the black stuff. Well, no, I'm not in recovery at all. I was still in the gang. I was still committing violent acts for the gang. I was still, politicking and doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, and I was involved with criminal activity. So I can't say I was clean at that time, just because I got high in December of 2018. I'm no longer. That's actually my recovery date, and not only that, right? Is I was still a criminal at that time. I wasn't a gang member no more. I wasn't using drugs anymore after that. I wasn't, but I was still leaving open reservations. I still wanted to know who had what and things like that, because I was still leaving myself open to getting involved, if things didn't work out in the recovery. I didn't even know what I was doing when I said, well, I'm gonna do good. I thought doing good was just, slanging here and there, put some money in the locker, not getting high, but still, maybe beat somebody up here and there. I'm doing good. So I didn't know. And so how can I say that I was like firm in my recovery at that time? And then I moved in with, he's out there now. He's a former lifer. He did 25 to life, and he got out. But when I moved in with him, that's when I really made a decision to be in recovery. And I think about that like, okay, well, I have no idea when that was. I had a cellie that, it was early, well, it was around, probably like 2019. I had a cellie that they moved in with me, and he was messing around, getting high, doing stuff like that. So I knew that I wasn't going to stay in there with him, but I was like, well, if I go in there with homeboy, it's done. You don't mess around at all. He's like how me and Jesse are now, So when I moved in there with him, I was like, that's it. No more cell phones, no more, this, no more that. Like, that's done. So that's my actual clean date. 100% across the board. And I don't know when it was. I got to narrow it down, though.
Sounds to me like you're in trouble, muchacho.
Huh? See? I knew it. I'm no longer suitable, James. I guess I'll be doing these calls with you for another 3 more years.
That's no bueno.
3 to 5. No bueno. Nah, it's good. It's good. You don't have to. Because they understand that it's a process.
And all this is from that one question Ricky asked me.
Yep.
One question.
Well,
I gave myself a denial.
For that reason, you're out.
I just want to, because we're going to wrap this up. So before Jesse comes on, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Everybody, man, all the listeners, everybody that spent these few hours with us. You guys were amazing. Your questions were amazing. We weren't sure really what we were going to talk about today. We just wanted to come and spend some time with you guys, but you guys really moved the show along. And everything that...
Yeah, who's yelling? Is that Felipe? Did he lose it?
You hear that?
Yeah.
You can hear that?
Yeah, we can hear it.
That's the cheer.
Oh, okay.
There's something on TV that, like a
college game.
College football, everybody screams out there, yeah. The weekends are sports days.
Hey, Chubby Jessica just she threw one last question in here, and she writes, "What advice would you give to someone who is at the beginning stages of crossing over, unsure of what direction to take?"
Oh man, go as far away from the people who are familiar to you. Get as far away from the individuals that are familiar to you.
Yeah,
That's the reality of it.
don't come to this side looking for your homeboys.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
Yeah. And if whatever they're doing is contrary to what you were doing before you got here, then that's where you need to be. Because prison's prison. No matter where you're at, you're gonna find the very same things. No matter where you're at, it's just the reality of it. So unless you make the decision to put yourself in a different place in prison, you're gonna find yourself where you're at, and that's prison. So, like Dave said, don't come looking for your homeboys. Don't come looking for the dudes from your area. Don't go looking for the pelones, tattoos, the cats that you know are familiar to you, because that's what you understand and that's what you know. Go ahead and step outside your comfort zone for a little bit. Start looking for some people who don't look like the people you're used to coming around. And those dudes, there is a lot of guys around here in recovery who look like straight savages still.
Yeah.
They're in recovery. There's a lot of them. You know what I mean? And they'll find their way to you. But don't make it your business to go look for because anytime everybody knows that it's on the other side, that when you get to a yard, first thing you do is look for your car, look for your ride, look for your people, look for your everybody's easily identifiable.
Yep, where's the homies from this area, this region, and that's that,
Yeah.
And don't introduce yourself as your moniker.
Yep.
That's where a lot of people make mistakes. They come over here and they call themselves by their Picasso, by their AKA. Don't do it.
Yep.
Like me, I go by David. Jesse goes by Jesse. That's not what we call ourselves for many years in the gang. And
it's an opportunity to come over here and
Yep.
rebuild your identity and
Yep.
start all over. Take advantage of that. Come here and introduce yourself as your God-given name, the name your parents gave you, and start to reconnect with that person. Start to reconnect with the person that you spent many years building a shield around and creating an identity around. And you'll see that things get easier, man, because it wasn't easy living that other life. It wasn't easy to come over here, and it's not going to be easy to dig yourself up out of that hole that you put yourself in that other life.
And do not ask people what they're here for.
Yeah. Don't ask people what they're here for.
That's the biggest thing. It's just don't make no assumptions about people. Just mind your own business.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Why people are in prison is none of your business.
Yep. You should be focusing on how to get out of prison.
Yep.
You shouldn't care what people are in prison for.
Yep.
Or what. You need to be worried about how you got here and how you're going to get out.
That's it. That's what it is, man.
Yep.
It's nitty gritty. But yeah, I want to send a shout out to my beautiful wife. She's the one person that's put up with a lot of my bullshit. And so she's really strong, and it takes a strong woman to be with a strong man. That's what it is.
Yep.
That's right.
Definitely want to send a shout out to all our supporters. Yep, I second that emotion with Dave. Definitely want to send a shout out to all our listeners. SoCal Fish Layer, it was good to have him in here. We're definitely going to reach out to him tomorrow.
Yep.
It'll probably be in the evening time. But definitely send our love to Chubby Jessica. Thanks for chiming in and being here with us. I want to send mine to my boy Bruce Willis and Lex Lou. Regardless, still want to send my love that way. Yeah, I think that's it. Pretty much thank everybody for supporting the channel and hearing us out and coming, spending some time with us and listen to the message, whether it's just bullshit and clowning around or.
I want to give a special shout out to Juan too, man. Juan asked some really good questions.
Absolutely.
The entire chat show, he's been on it, man.
Yeah.
And he moved it along a lot. Whoever you are,
Yep.
But everybody that asked questions, man, you guys all asked really thoughtful questions.
Yep. And if Lupita's still listening, I want to send my love to your hubby, man.
Yep.
And I hope he's all right. He'll be in my prayers. Hopefully everything's going good.
Yep. Big Tokes.
Yep. Big Tokes for sure.
Tokes,
That's for chiming in.
Yep. Tiny, my boy, if you hear me, send my love, man. I'm proud of you, man. Cool, you're doing good. I seen your picture on James sent me a picture. Well, it's whatever's on his profile,
Yep. All right.
Cool, man.
Hey, so I appreciate you guys.
Hey, we got this.
Go ahead.
hey, before you go, James, we got this painting, man. We're trying to send it out. We got a big ass painting for you that David D-Boy did. It's fucking bad. We're trying it. It's like wall size.
Okay.
It's already done. I got it right here. So we're gonna try to send it out to you. It's gonna look badass in the background.
Hey, put it in the cajuela.
Woohoo! You have a big guy. We're looking at you.
Jesse, ready? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to call on the big dogs on
This is gonna be you, Jesse. Get your prison wallet ready.
Shake it, your mama gang, yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Lux, man. Even though you're not in, you know. That's what it is.
All right, then. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate David, Jesse, and everybody that was participating in the chat. Juan wrote, "I appreciate it. Thank you." And Zach writes, "The lights at the end of the tunnel." Shout out to Fishlayer SoCal, Scorpio Rising, Fishlayer SoCal, and everybody else that was participating in the chat. Eric Martinez, and like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we're out. Rato.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.